4. Again I looked and saw all the oppressions that was taking place under the sun. I was the tears of the oppressed, and they have no comforter. Power was on the side of their oppressor, and they have no comforter. And I declared that the dead who had already died are happier than the living, who are still alive, but better than both is he who has not yet been, who has not seen the evil that is done under the sun. And I saw that all labor and all achievement spring from man's envy of his neighbor. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. The fool folds his hands and ruins himself. Better one handful than tranquility and two handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. Again I saw something meaningless under the sun. There was a man all alone, and he had neither son nor brother. There was no end to his toil. Yet his eyes were not content with his wealth. For whom am I toiling, he said, and why am I depriving myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their work. If one falls down, his friends can help him up, but pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of resistance is not quickly broken. Better a poor but wise youth than an old but foolish king who no longer knows how to take warning. The youth may have come from prison to the kingship, or he may have been born in poverty within his kingdom. I saw that all who lived and walked under the sun followed the youth, the king's successor. That was no end to all the people who were better before them. But those who came later were not pleased with the successor. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. 5. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Go near to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools, who do not know that they do wrong. Do not quickly with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven and you are on earth, so let your words be few. As a dream comes from there are many cares, so the speech of a fool when there are many words. When you make a vow to God, do not delay in fulfilling it. He has no pleasure in fools, so fulfill your vows. It is better not to vow than to make a vow and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin, and do not present to the temple messenger. My vow was a mistake. Why should God be angry at you and say, destroy the work of your hands? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, stand in awe to God. If you see the poor oppressed in the district, and justice and rights denied, do not be surprised at such things, for one officer is eyed by a higher one, and over them both are other higher still. The increase from the land is taken by all. The king himself profits from the field. Whoever loves money never has money enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income. This too is meaningless. As goods increase, so do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owner except to feast his eyes on them? The sleep of the laborer is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the evidence of the rich man permits is no sleep. I have seen a grievous evil under the sun, wealth harder to the harm of his owner, or wealth lost through some misfortune, so that when he has a son, there is nothing left for him. Naked a man comes from his mother's womb, and as he comes, so he departs. He takes nothing from his labor that he can carry in his hand. This too is a grievous evil. As a man comes, so he departs, and what does he gain? Since he toils for the wind. All his days he eat in darkness, and with great passion, affliction, and anger. Then I realized that it is good and proper for a man to eat and drink, and to find satisfaction in his toilsome labor under the sun during the few days of life God has given him, for this is his lot. Moreover, when God gives any man wealth and possession, and enables him to enjoy them, to accept his lot and be happy in his work, this is a gift of God. He seldom reflects on the day of his life, because God keeps him occupied with the gladness of heart. 6. I have seen another evil under the sun, and in ways heavily gives a man wealth, possession, and honor, so that he lacks nothing his heart desires, but God does not enable him to enjoy them, and a stranger enjoys them instead. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. A man may have 100 children and live many years, yet no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive a proper burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than him. It comes without a meaning. The departs in darkness, and in darkness his name is stirred. Though he never saw the sun or knew anything, it has more rest than dust and men. Even if he lives in 1,000 years, twice over, but fails to enjoy his prosperity, do not all go to the same place. All man suffers are for his mouth, yet his oppression is never satisfied. What advantage have a wise man over a fool? What does a poor man gain by knowing how to conduct himself before others? Better what the eye sees than the rubbing of the piety. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Whatever exists have already been named, and what man is have been known. No man can contend with one who is stronger than he. The more the worse, the less the meaning, and how does that profit anyone? For who knows what is good for a man in life during the few and meaningless days he passes through like a shadow? Who can tell him what will happen under the sun after he is gone?